I hand over the floor to Tobias Rasse. He will now say more about the network and what's all about. And yeah, Tobias.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wiebke and Tobias, for this very nice introductory comments. And it's really indeed a pity that we can't meet physically in Göttingen, but I'm really looking forward to another opportunity to do that. And let's, for now, just focus also on the advantages of having this meeting virtual, because as you already mentioned, many people joined and maybe not all of them would have been able to travel to Göttingen. And so now it's a very nice opportunity for people to learn about our network and then to start engaging and interacting with us. I'm also particularly glad that also quite some of you joined who are not even part of the Max Planck Society and therefore are prepared already also some 2 slides that help to remind you of the basic principles and the things that make the Max Planck Society unique. And that will help you also to understand about the particular challenges and chances we have as a network. And this slide then introduces actually the Max Planck Society, and you can sum up the Max Planck Society maybe in 2 key statements. The first is from Max Planck himself, that insight must precede application. So the Max Planck Society is really a society supporting basic research. So if a researcher has a research goal and the application is not yet clear, it's no problem. So really fundamental basic research is supported. And it's done in a way that excellent minds receive a high degree of freedom to have also outstanding working conditions. And this then creates really the foundation for basic research at the very highest level. At the moment, there are some 86 Max Planck institutes. Most of them are located in Germany. And you can summarize the Max Planck Society as providing high trust funding for science. Why? Because generally outstanding individuals in their respective fields are selected. And as they are appointed as directors, they receive not only a lot of money, but also a lot of trust to build up a long-term perspective and have also a lot of freedom on how they want to build these departments around themselves to enable them to pursue groundbreaking novel research. And as a result of this high trust and this high degree of freedom, the individual departments and the individual institutes, they might be very differently organized. And in some of these institutes, bioimaging might be very important because it's the key tool of investigation for the directors at this institute. At others, it might be less important. And also the way how this is organized might differ from institute to institute. And this is a big challenge for us as a network, but it creates also enormous opportunities to complement each other and to help each other to be jointly more successful. Let's come very briefly to the history of the Max Planck Bioimaging Core Unit Network. So the initial started came actually from an email. So Vice President Hansen was visiting our institute in January for the Scientific Advisory Board meeting and to evaluate the institute. And about 1 month earlier, he asked around if anybody in the institute would be interested to meet with him. And I find this really an excellent example for anyone who leads a major science organization to never give the impression that you are too busy to take care of everything, of every interest that might occur in the institute, and to be really open to novel ideas. I made then an appointment with him, and upon that being confirmed, we had about 1 month of time in which I reached out to a lot of other core facility heads, and together we had a lot of good ideas which we put into a very small draft. And then after a very brief meeting, he was already very positive, encouraged us that this is a very nice initiative, but has also already some advice for us, namely to keep it simple. And this is what we really tried to accomplish in the following months. In April, we had our first General Assembly in which we organized ourselves and we accepted statutes based on which we would be able to spend money and operate. In the 2 months to follow, we completed together a detailed action plan and requested funds from the Max Planck Society and formed also a scientific advisory board. To give you a little bit an overview on the details, so in April, we were founded by 23 different facilities and service groups that represent 17 institutes. We had back in April some 40 members, some 10 stakeholders, and together we are experts in 28 different technologies in the domain of light microscopy, electron microscopy, flow cytometry, and other, which means in our case, medical imaging and image analysis. We thought it's important to form some work groups. The work group 1 on communication and public relations is led by Elisa. The work group 3 on staff and users training is led by Gabriele. And I myself lead the work group for finance, legal, and strategy. And then the steering committee is complemented by actually 4 additional members that were directly voted from the delegates. So it's Jan and Arun, as well as Wiebke, who serves also as deputy spokesperson, and Christian, who is our finance officer. We are advised by an advisory board, which has some members which are internal to the Max Planck Society and represent domains of expertise, and some external members who hold important roles in other bioimaging or bioimage analysis networks and can consult us in specific questions and can help us also to easily collaborate with existing networks. Then in September, we were in the lucky situation that we received a very nice email confirming us that our network will be funded by the Max Planck Society for the next 5 years. And then as we had scheduled the kickoff meeting for November, we had about 2 months to prepare some actions and to organize ourselves further. I would just show that very briefly. So for each of our planned activities, we have identified persons who would be in charge of that action and who could be also the first point of contact. As you see here, some names appear twice, some names appear 3 times. So in the internal meeting, we will really encourage others to join our initiative and to take also lead, and then maybe in midterm take over some of these tasks, and more importantly, to bring in their own idea to develop our network further. To focus a little bit on our aims, so we want to foster collaboration, empower people, science, and innovation. We think we can make the Max Planck Society even more competitive through the promotion of collaboration. So we want to be more cost effective, to enable the scientists to analyze faster and discover more. To avoid the duplication of effort, we want to collaborate. To this aim, we will establish single points of contact and coordinate our actions both within the Max Planck Society and with other networks. We want to improve the service by empowering people or staff working in the facilities, creating new training opportunities, and then especially for the users training, teach together that we can learn from each other, and increase the visibility, not only of the outstanding service facilities offer within the Max Planck Society, but also for the amazing results that come out of this. Now the question, this is now more directed toward our members. So this is the general framework: foster collaboration, empowering people, science, and innovation. But the most important message is that Max Planck BioImaging is about you. So if you have a good idea how you can contribute to the success of our network, please come to us. And then we want to empower you that you can put this idea into practice. Just as a rough guideline, a good idea should be either novel and serve a direct need, or if it's not novel, it should be better tailored or more efficient to accomplish tasks within our network. It should always build on what already exists, be directed at our aims, be within our scope, and be feasible. And then the main aim of the work groups is actually to encourage you to pursue your idea, to connect you with others who might help you to be successful, then empower you, and then in line with the spirit of the Max Planck Society, that we are in high trust environment, empower you and then leave the control to you, that you can really make the action you have come up with a success, And then the work groups let go, and then you can accomplish whatever you had planned. And then they are also a place to come back and then to celebrate together what we have achieved. To give you some practical examples of what we want to do or are already doing. So let's start with internal actions. So we want to create instrument databases that if you consider buying, for example, a new microscope, you can very quickly look up who else has this microscope already and how happy is this person with this instrument. We want to establish expert databases where you can very quickly identify an expert on each domain where you need to learn something within the Max Planck Society, have very efficient ways that you could then do a staff exchange or that we could promote exchanges of experience. We have several actions directed at career development and building up mentoring networks within our network. And we want to engage in user training. For the user training, it might often make sense to collaborate with strategic partners outside the Max Planck Society, and that we will always discuss on a one-to-one basis, whatever the course is about and where it makes sense to do this course together with, for example, another bioimaging network. We will have also what we call global events. So we will have general topic talks and discussions. The first very nice example will be Doug's talk, just right after my talk, where we want to initiate a discussion about buying or leasing scientific instruments. We will establish also very soon a Spotlight Journal Club. And the idea is that first authors from papers recently published from researchers within the Max Planck Society or from within our facilities would be given a platform to present their research to a broader audience. So we will announce it through our social media channels and hope to give these young researchers a platform where they can showcase what nice discoveries they made. And then through our social media channels, we will also advertise all job opportunities within the Max Planck Society if you want to come and join us. Yeah, so far to the most important actions we have planned. And now I'm already also at the end of my talk. So I want to thank, first of all, my former supervisors, Antje Kepler and Rainer Peppercook, for being my long-term mentor, and also that I could learn from them really a lot about providing excellent scientific service and how to build up bioimaging networks. I want to thank especially also Wiebke and Elisa, who did really amazing job in putting this meeting together and getting all the outreach activities started together with their teams. And here I want to thank them, like everybody involved in the actions I showed so far within the Max Planck BioImaging network. We received a lot of support also from the central headquarters, the administration in Munich. We got a lot of valuable advice from PostDocNet, which we want to greatly acknowledge. We got a lot of practical help from people working at different institutes within the Max Planck Society. We want to thank the former and current vice president of the biomedical section for their encouragement and support, as well as the members of our internal and external scientific advisory board and the GWDG for very nice and reliable data services. And now I want to thank you very much for your attention